तेरे पाने सर्वत खालसा वाहिगुरु जी दी फतेह। बोले सोनिया सत श्री अकाल। Okay ji, so Kevin, we can start.
Sure, sir. Shall we wait for a minute? Some attendants, I think participants are joining.
Yeah, we can start the introduction, and
Sure,
then
sir.
because normally we start dot on time, because of Ardas we started 2 minutes later. So go ahead.
No worries.
Others can keep joining. Huh?
So good evening, everyone. Once again, it's a pleasure to meet you all on every fortnight Friday for our ongoing webinar series, Startup Masterclass. And today we are conducting our 9th episode, and the topic is From Make in India to Make for India. We have with us Mr. Anil Sachdev, sir, founder of Soil, also a leadership coach and a consultant to various MNCs. Welcome, sir. I would like to introduce our special guest and the key speaker for the day, Mr. Paramdeep Singh, co-founder and CEO of FieldAssist. Now, just a brief introduction of FieldAssist. It is basically a Salesforce automation solution provider, which goes beyond tracking field Salesforce, but actually empowering Salesforce to make them take tactical business decisions on the field itself. Hence, it empowers sales to measure the right metrics that provides in-depth analysis to build accurate strategies. We are more than excited to hear from Paramdeep and his entrepreneurial journey. Welcome, Paramdeep.
Thank you, Kevin.
We also have with us our own ANB sir, who is the program chair for marketing cohort. Welcome, sir. So I would request Anil sir to address us before we start our webinar.
I still remember the day Param and I went together to Sidbadi, and there during the whole trip we spent a lot of time together, and he was talking to me about why he has chosen to join Soil, and he said, I came here to gain self-knowledge and to ignite my own inspiration for what I wanted to do. And within a few months of starting the program, he said, I have already found that what I wanted to do in these few months. And now I want to go on with my entrepreneurial journey, because for me, it is not important that I get a certificate and that I finish the course. I hope I will continue to be part of the Soil family, even though I would have not officially finished the course. But I feel I should start the journey for which I came to prepare myself. And I believe in a few months, I have already found what I was looking for inside me. And therefore, I want to start that journey. It's a very interesting realization. Whenever it starts for you in any new program of learning, that's the right time. And there are some moments that stand out in your heart when some spark is created. And then you want to spend the rest of your life in following that path, because you have found the spark. There is something waiting to be born. There is a higher level force which is making you do that. You become an instrument. It is not about you. It is not about your achievements, but it is about the cause that begins to bubble up, and it makes you dream during the daylight and makes you even in the night get up and say, what can I do to commit myself even more? So you become an instrument in the hands of that wonderful Vaheguruji, that spirit, that divine consciousness, which tells you, okay, beta, okay, my child, go and play. Here are my blessings. So I think Param understood that the Lord is giving him the blessing. Go and play. I am with you. and he began to follow his journey. And what a delight it is to see how from that spark within him, he has now created an organization with 130 people, and I hope he will create many more jobs. What is most important is that in a short journey of his creation, he has created that kind of impact in his customers that they want to work with him. When your customers really love you and want you to work with them, then I think they understand who you are. And so I am so happy that Param has earned that love of his customers and affection. And I wish him all the very best. And I thank him for coming into our forum today and for sharing his journey. So over to you.
Thank you, Anil sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do remember the days, when we used to had a lot of talk with the faculty members, ANB sir, and yourself. You were so approachable that whenever a small thought used to strike, okay, let's discuss with sir. Okay, so thank you so much for your warm welcome.
Thank you.
I would request ANB sir to introduce formally Paramdeep.
Okay. So thank you, Anil. Thank you, Kevin, and welcome, Param. It's an extremely, joyful moment for me to see you come back to your alma mater. I consider Soil to be your alma mater because you have been here and you have been in touch with all of us regularly throughout the last almost 5-6 years. So just for the sake of the people who are watching this, webinar on the Zoom as well as on the YouTube and the Facebook, I would like to tell you a little bit about Param. He's basically a mechanical engineer who did his engineering degree from VIT Vellore Institute of Technology. And after that, before coming to Soil, actually, he had started his own manufacturing of fruit juice, packaged fruit juice company in Chandigarh and Panchkula. And he was doing a fairly decent job in terms of capturing a certain market share. And he was a very successful businessman there. But then as a very prudent businessman, he understood that it is very difficult for, the type of resources he had to match up the might of the companies like Dabur or the Pepsis and the Cokes of the world, especially in this particular, drinks market. So he wanted to probably, explore if there is some better way of creating an impact in the economic world where he can utilize his potential and probably understand what is it that best would serve the purpose that he is here for. So as Anil sir very rightly said, he probably understood the purpose of his life. He probably wanted to, sort of polish it a little bit. So he wanted some more insights. And that's how he came to Soil. And quite early in Soil, he realized, the need that he had to pursue. And then he moved on and created this particular venture, which has been a runaway success, I would say. FieldAssist has been a runaway success as far as the IT sector is concerned. So let me first tell you, Paramdeep, the format of this particular webinar is very simple. It's actually an interactive session where probably I'll be asking you a few questions and I would like to understand your journey better. In the process, the audience will also listen to the answers and they will have some questions. Since you have been a successful entrepreneur, they would have many questions which they would like you to answer so that they also get inspired by, the actions that you had taken. And maybe you can also give them some tips and maybe some of them would reach out to you. I know you keep reaching out to Soil for recruitment. You have recently reached out to me also for, hiring some people. So there are some of them who would like to become entrepreneurs. So they would definitely like to reach out to you. And it's a freewheeling discussion. So there's nothing which probably, if there's anything which probably you feel is classified, you do not want to share, you can always say that this is something which I don't want to share. So that's absolutely fine with us.
Okay, sure.
Right. So to start with, just for the sake of the rest of the world, I would like you to tell me briefly, what is this FieldAssist all about? What is this company? What do you do? What is the type of business you are into? How big is this business? If you can briefly tell us about FieldAssist.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thanks for asking. See, FieldAssist is a B2B SaaS platform. Okay. So in a simple format, I can say that we help when particularly CPG brands or FMCG or FMCD companies to automate their sales processes and supply processes so that they are able to have a larger market share. They are able to win with the competition. It's a fierce competition in FMCG space. And it's basically to digitize all their sales operations and help them to be present at a right retailer with the right stock SKU, what we call, and at the right time. So that's what we enable. It's a mobile application. It's a dashboard. It's analytics made for salespeople who are the warriors, who are actually the foot soldiers. The likes of we have clients like Everest Spices, Haldiram's, Bisleri, Jockey. So there are about 60,000 salespeople who use FieldAssist application. Okay, and we are present with more than 400 plus brands in India and abroad. And
so let me understand one thing. Say, for example, there is a company, we have Salesforce.com.
Yes.
They also automate some of the functions. Is it something very similar to that, or is it? I can understand it is something slightly better than them, it seems.
Okay, so Salesforce.com is a typical CRM, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Have a suite of products, a brilliant product, brilliant company. What FieldAssist stands out for is that it's a vertical specific SaaS product. Salesforce.com is a horizontal SaaS product. Okay, it cuts across the industry. So we are very much focused on FMCG and CPG brands. We know they're working in and out. So being a vertical specialist, we have an edge over a lot of other players like that, and we are into a lot of depth of this particular industry of FMCG and CPG.
Yeah. So suppose, for example, you work for, I think now recently last year, I think you picked up Dabur also as one of your clients.
But not, it's in the process.
It's in the process. Yeah, you were telling me.
It's Imami.
Imami is there. Say, for example, if I take Imami, say they would have, say, around, maybe 2,000 salespeople working in a particular zone.
Yeah.
Does this application enable the company to understand what are the different people doing in the field, where are they moving, which outlets they are going, the outlets, what has been their sales in the past, what has been the future targets? Is the entire dashboard sort of a thing which comes in front of the salespeople? Plus, the company also gets a dashboard about what their salespeople are doing.
Exactly. If I tell you the problem statement in FMCG, you have been part of it. There are thousands of salespeople who are outside in the market, and their job is to, again, compete against the local brands, regional brand, national brands. It has to be that your service to the retailer which counts. And in India's scenario, if you see, we have modern trade, we have e-commerce, now D2C also coming up, and general trade. And general trade still occupies more than 80% of market share. The general trade means your kirana stores, your mom and pop neighborhood stores, right? The sales happens over there. And if you see in the last year, in pandemic and lockdown, these people became hero. Whole India was celebrating that kirana store, the spirit of kirana. They were the people who were delivering your chemist, your OTC medicines and all the daily needs. Now, these 80% plus general trade runs on the salespeople who are on the foot. They have to visit 40-50 shops in a day. So it becomes very difficult for a FMCG top management to understand what are their people up to, where are we present. There's a huge disconnect between the company and, let's say, company based out of Delhi doesn't know whom we are selling to in Kochi. The whole system was all dependent upon distributors, wholesalers, super stockists, right? But the salespeople were the only way they were able to connect from the retailer. So they have to do the demand generation. So there are like plenty of activities which a sales guy does. And he used to record like a lot on the pen and paper, your stock, your schemes distribution, your feedback of the customer, your retailer, your surveys or audits or competition information and order booking, stock tracking, everything. We made it whole digitize this thing. And also we enabled, the champ who's on the field, he's might be earning just 10,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, depending upon the regional brand or national brand. Now, these guys usually are not literate. They may not be even, metric pass. But these people are really, as I said, they sweat it out in the market to make sure that, sales happen. Now, these people also get really empowered by a mobile application because they will get, nudges like what to sell, and whole information of the, like, each company may have 200 SKUs, 500 SKUs. What are their MRP? What are the discounts? What is the catalog? Now these people get empowered, and we help these people win so that they earn better incentives. They are able to achieve their targets. And I'm so proud to say, and this is the bottom of the pyramid segment we are talking about, enabling them. It's actually a true digital transformation we are doing. So there they are able to earn better. They are able to get their livelihood better. They are able to educate their children better. They are able to earn honor, which otherwise usually it's difficult for salespeople empowerment. But digitization and field assist has really made an impact. And
So
similarly, the top management gets a real-time dashboards, which is all
yeah,
about analytics.
yeah. So in the, like, like, let me put it this way, like, in a highly competitive market that we are in today,
Yeah,
survival of the organizations also becomes very crucial. And since knowledge has also become democratized, what happens is most of the companies have most of the knowledge. So
yeah,
whatever the best companies are doing, the smaller companies also get to know it. But
absolutely.
the key lies in which are the companies which can implement process efficiency. If they can bring about process efficiency, the turnaround time for any particular act, that becomes very crucial. So is field assist helping in bringing around that speed with which decisions can be taken by even small companies?
Absolutely.
Or if there are certain companies which probably had earlier been reacting, maybe after 15-20 days, now they can react real time. Is that so?
Absolutely, sir. That's the power of technology, and two key aspects over there. Okay, since it's not just about big companies having access to they have large capex, they have large budgets. Field assist being into a cloud technologies can benefit even two people salespeople company and also 20,000 salespeople company. The same guy, the entrepreneur, small entrepreneur, let's say in Varanasi or Ludhiana, who has just 2 or 3 salespeople, he can get access to the same power of computing and technology what Imami is having. So it's a very fair play, and the cost, it's come as a per user license cost. So Imami might be paying for 5,000 licenses. Here a guy is paying only for 2 licenses. That's it. So that makes a very fair game. That's the power of SaaS and cloud technologies. And secondly, you are absolutely right, because it's such a tough market. The data of my competition or my placement, or let's say stock out issue, it's very prevalent. Somebody going to buy a hair oil brand, and if that particular brand is not available, he or she will not wait for any other brand. He just pick it up, or the shopkeeper will push it. So stock out is one of the example which should not happen for any. Now, how that can be possible is only that if you are having a real-time data visibility of stock in the supply chain. That is one of the key thing which gets enabled through field assist, and that makes them not to lose out on sale. And if I talk about the pandemic, when there was a complete lockdown, and today this year also we are so well prepared that last year when our the licenses or the usage of course got down, we introduced innovations like contactless SFA. You don't have to visit physically, but through your mobile application, you can virtually talk to your your shopkeepers and book the orders, take care of them, take care of anything they need, fill the surveys, what do they need. And data is getting transmitted on a real time to the company, and company is able to make out the arrangements of supplies because they know what is the demand generation, what is the situation at the ground level. So companies which were not on automation, they really felt the need of the data because nobody knew that how many retailers I'm serving, where are they, what are their phone numbers, what are the categories, A, B, C, D categories. No, so this data is of really, really helpful to them, and executing their strategies in a real time becomes handy.
So just tell me, just one question immediately cropped up in my mind, like this particular solution of yours probably is helping inventory management also to a large extent.
Yeah.
It probably would be reducing the inventory cost, inventory holding cost for many of the companies because they can plan better. But one thing which I feel is, because you are targeting one of those, typical Indian companies which have been working with that pen and paper model. You're wanting to shift to a digital form. How difficult is it to in fact educate them? Because these people have a certain fear of technology. They fear that, okay, this technology is something which probably I can't do it. So how difficult or how easy is it?
So thanks to what has happened in the last 3 years, but like 4G introduction, WhatsApp introduction, cheap mobile handsets introduction, But yes, while starting the company, it was damn difficult. When we were going to, let's say in Delhi, we are going to Lawrence Road, there are so many industrial houses over there.
Right.
To talk to them about cloud, they used to, at times, no offense, but they used to see up in the sky, where's cloud? Where are the servers in the cloud? And to talk about SaaS, software as a service, they used to say, okay, what is this SaaS? So whose mother-in-law is this? So those were interesting times, and it was very hard to convince. But eventually, there are always early adopters. And
Yeah.
when you start influencing the exact users, what strategy we took to make them educate was not the top management alone. We used to do a lot of free pilots. We just give us 5 people, okay, on your sales team, and we will prove what is the ROI to you. That way, it was very important for a technology company to know who's the user. Now, user were the salespeople, on-ground salespeople. If we were able to convince to them, then it really changes the game, because today also with our referrals, many times from one biscuit company, ASM, area sales manager, goes to a higher position, another biscuit company from, let's say, Kolkata to Bhubaneswar or somewhere else. He says, I need FieldAssist because without FieldAssist, I cannot work. Because he has seen that user experience and the productivity increase. Now, that's something, and plenty of things we have to do. Very good, important trainings. And that's why we coined this, and it's now very famous. A lot of MNCs follow this also, earlier than us also. But do it for me, it is what is India market about. It is not DIY. It is not do it yourself. Okay. Unlike, in US or Europe. So do it for me. If you make that person confident that I'm hand-holding you, your success, is important for me, only then I'll be successful. So you do small pilots. And we started with, 5 people pilot. I remember the very first client we got, Anmol biscuits, GD Food. Then we went on to many other brands and Everest. We used to do very small pilots. They used to be apprehensive about, data, about the people adoption, the handset. We used to give even the training, how to operate an Android mobile handset. What is the flight mode? How to optimize the battery. To that level, we used to give a lot of training, and that is a hallmark of FieldAssist. We have a huge team of customer success managers whose job is to feel like sales guy. In fact, even a coder who comes into our organization, the induction plan says that you have to go for a client training and understand for whom you are coding. Even the HR people in our company, marketing people, they have to undergo a training of client demo, sales, and experiencing the life of a sales guy, being on the foot, sweating it out for 4 hours in a market, understand and make reports. So that's really, really important.
Yeah. So that reminds me, Param, like, I've been in the FMCG industry, and I've worked in the field for almost 2 decades. And I know that there were typical Indian distribution houses where the salesman used to remain as a salesman till the age of 50. So they would start as early as 16 years of age, and they will remain a sales representative or a sales executive for almost 50 years, and they have mastered that particular art. But I think your this particular tool of FieldAssist, this is probably upskilling these salespeople also, and in fact empowering them to probably earn, or rather tap their own earning potential more. So they probably are able to achieve the targets better. Maybe they're able to plan their day better. Maybe they are able to plan their market visits better.
Yes.
So
yes.
does this tool help that also?
Absolutely, sir. I just mentioned about that. Definitely, helping these people to earn better because they're able to realize their targets, in time, and also they are advised not. So there are a lot of education mode also which gets enabled. Companies do teach, how to sell or upload tutorials in the application. All those things also happen. But to sum it up, what I have hearing is that people who do not have any education certificates, they carry FieldAssist certificate that I'm a trained automation guy, and they apply to MNCs and that they get absorbed. Because we don't care that where are you coming from. You have a certificate of FieldAssist, that means you are very good technology. So that really,
like, it is something like when people say you're an SFDC certified, Salesforce.com certified guy, you get a job. So have you also started this sort of certification?
Yeah, we always give certificates. It's just physical trainings are now off the card, but we have done more than 2,000 trainings. I said 60,000 salespeople, they all needed training. So we do refresher trainings also. If we do give them a certificate that, okay, they carry with proud, they frame it out in their homes and they carry it in their files to apply for new jobs. So
very good. So just to get a feel of the impact that we have created, what would be the total number of salespeople in India who would be using Field Assist?
Now, as I mentioned, sir, about 60,000.
My God, that's actually a very big number.
Yeah.
And this would be across pan India?
Pan India and abroad. So India like markets in Africa, it's a big market. Africa is for us. And other than that, all the neighboring countries. And we are expanding to Southeast Asia.
And you would have a client base of how many clients?
Close to 450 brands now.
450 brands in a span of 5 years. That's really stupendous.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Param. This is actually really something which is making me feel very, very proud of you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And I feel that a lot of credit, is actually to be borne by my team.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic people, fantastic energy. I get inspired by them. I don't do that much of work now, but they are really a new energy. What we have, it's incredible.
Okay. Tell me one more thing. Like, whenever we think of entrepreneurship, whenever we think of going into, your own venture, one thing which keeps bogging us down is there would be competition. There would be other players who would have deeper pockets. What is the type of competition you face in this particular market?
So I think every type of competition. People who had the deeper pockets, funded companies, okay, and also companies who were very selling on the price war, the price war factor.
So which are the typical other, top sales automation companies which you have to compete with directly?
So there are companies like, let's say, Sales Diary or Mobisi, But I'm glad to share that. Otherwise, if I start naming, there'll be 500 application providers in the country.
Okay.
Nobody is end to end, and no one is like complete supply chain and sales automation chain cycle, because that requires suite of products. We are
Right.
not just one product now. We are suite of products, and also the very important part of FieldAssist success is the customer success, the customer handholding. Teaching and then taking that customer with your journey, that whatever he's requiring after 1 year, we should be investing today and produce for that customer today itself. And that's why the partnership with the very good, large, trusted brands. We do not have any corporate background. We don't have any connections. We are just a bunch of enthusiastic kids, I would say. But the respect we've got from Mahindras, the respect we have got from Raymonds or the Bisleris, and I keep on saying the name Jockey, they consider us as a part of their growth technology partner, envisioning the things for the next 5-year plan. So that we have been lucky, we have been blessed to have that kind of a trust of the customers, purely because the intent and the passion for the product, for the customer, to solve the problems. We are problem solvers.
Great. Okay, Param, I have one more small question to ask you. And in the meantime, I will tell the audience also that please be ready with your questions, because after another maybe 10-15 minutes, I'll actually open the forum for the audience to ask questions, and maybe Param will field those questions. Kevin will facilitate the questions. But before we do that, I remember, Param, you, when you were in Soil, you once, after joining, you came into my cabin and you talked about your business. I think it was after the first few sessions of marketing that we had, and you were one of those vociferous participants when you were talking about your own way you were doing your marketing and all that. You came to my room and said, sir, I'm a mechanical engineer. I am very scared of IT. Digital and IT is something, no, sir, I can't do it, sir. It is something which I don't even know, sir. Give me a machine. I can actually open it and close it, but don't talk about IT. I don't know it. There was a sense of, I would say you are literally petrified. IT, IT, sir, nahi, sir, I don't know it. How come from that sort of a stage, how did you overcome that fear? And now you are literally riding the tiger.
Yeah.
When you say that you have 60,000 people using FieldAssist and you have a seamless end-to-end solution to sales automation, I think you are literally now riding the tiger. So how did you overcome this fear?
It's not one-man job, sir. It's not one-man job, of course. See, my background being a mechanical engineer, going into a food processing unit, I was master of manufacturing. Okay. And in manufacturing also, common thing is technology. You could be low cost automation. I was like experimenting a lot as a mechanical engineer. What machinery, what parlay must be having in worth crore rupees? How do I develop that? In a few lakhs budget. Okay. So doing that and same kind of a product of let's say real fruit drinks and my drink quality should match, but it was all about being frugal, and technology was always there at that point also. In fact, I get to see that we talk about a lot of things like product management and all. Now, all this, making a product of fruit juice with the brand, with the packaging and the targeting the right market with the right words and the logistics, everything is all product management, your go-to-market strategy. Now, technology was the thing which I knew that this is something can make a lot of impact if I get my hands into it. But you're absolutely right about the IT, because I never coded in my life. Okay. And so that was a very, you pointed it out, but then I knew that I had to be in. So when entrepreneurs, I believe they think, then, what I feel that universe starts helping you out. So it's always a beginner's luck. So I purposely started my, interaction with a lot of startups in Gurgaon. I became an evangelist as one of the top company in India, which is about the co-working space, 91 Springboard. I was there for 4 months, just being in the cool tech startup people, understanding their psychology, talking. There were people who have sold their company for crores and now they're building a new product. There were people who are just starting up with a bunch of corporate guys who want to get into IT. So that mindset really helped me, in collaboration and also overcome this kind of a mind block. But most importantly, it's, I say, no one person can do it alone. The people I met, my co-founders I met again through a common network connection, and they were really good in technology. Actually, they are pass out from IIT Dhanbad. So Apoor, Piyush, and they were all of them. They were fantastic at technology, and I think that was a perfect match when they were looking for somebody as to join the team who knows the business, who knows the on-ground reality, who know the market, and that made a very, very good combination. Okay. And that's how it has been since long, the technology piece. But the underlying fact is, if you appreciate technology, that fortunately I was able to, and connect with the real problem statement, then it is all about execution. So whether you use one tech stack or another, like great things India has achieved because of our software prodigies or talent over here. And I get amused to see, this small mobile application can change the life of a person like anything. So I was a great fan of using a lot of applications, getting into it. So more and more you get closer, you surpass your fear, you face your fear. And I get so hands-on comfortable that I was able to design the product, targeting, okay, this is our user need, place the button over here in the application. This is going to be this and this workflow, and participating in a lot of design activities, how to get into it, and testing the product myself as a user. I think it was becoming natural because you were just a problem solver. So get hands on to it. But definitely you have to have a competent technology partners with you, your team. Okay.
Very good. Very good. So, I mean, somewhere down the line, collaboration is something which is necessary for success.
Yes. Yes.
And as you know, that one of the governing principles of Soil is that we believe in collaboration rather than competition. We always say that if we collaborate, we can succeed and we can surmount any problem that probably a human being faces. But apart from that, I would also like to understand, on one side, you are into a manufacturing business, you had some experience.
Yeah.
Now, from there, you came down to this, SaaS business. Now, we know that manufacturing business, especially FMCG and, the type of business you were in, where, you had sourcing of fruits and then converting them into juices and then packing them, and there's a shelf life problem. There's a Food and Prevention of Adulteration Act, that the rules of the government are there. So lots of hassles are there. You are managing all those things, and then you are achieving something which was at that point of time great for you. But you had the vision that this probably might not be a very sustainable business for long because of various reasons, external factors like maybe bigger companies. When you enter this particular market of an information technology enabled business, you probably find it more easier as compared to that. And what has been the learning from the past previous company that you're using here? If you can elaborate that.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for asking this. So first of all, with the Param Health Foods, the first venture, yes, there were things like very capital intensive,
Yeah.
to grow. But more importantly, if you the when I was in a final year, in fact, pre-final year only itself, I incubated the company at VIT TBI. So whole pre-final year of mine was actually not much into mechanical, but into food. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Going into the as a student, I got privileged to get into a food processing plants or juice processing plants, which otherwise was not easy to get into. Apple juice manufacturing plant of Parvanu and HPMC or Fruity and all. So there, I actually had gone. It was purely one intent, that can there be a student entrepreneur? Is it possible to become a student entrepreneur without any backing, without any knowledge, without any industrial experience? Is it possible or not? That was a challenge which I gave to myself. And somehow, because since childhood it has been that curiosity thing, and I was greatly inspired by Dr. Kalam, because when he came to our seniors convocation in VIT, he had one single agenda. He said, more than job seekers, we need job creators in India. And I was inspired by his vision 2020. And in fact, from when I was looking for opportunity identification, one of the key sector what he mentioned was food processing, and other sector he mentioned about information and communication technology. Okay. And then there are education and fintech, healthcare. So he mentioned about 5 sectors, so I picked it from there, food processing. And the whole idea was not to make this company a next big Dower or something. The whole idea was to experience what it takes to be a student entrepreneur. Can he be doing it? And at times I do feel I have burned my fingers a lot by taking a huge challenge, because at the age of 21, when you're dealing with 20 departments of government, labor department or electricity department or pollution department and whatnot, and dealing with such people, and then making a product which that you are going to compete with the Real or Tropicana, and then Fruity and Maza. It was a humongous task, because usually either somebody can go for let's say trading business or manufacturing business. I was actually doing both. I was creating a brand as well as I was creating a manufacturing plant as well. So I had taken all what I could do to make my life very exciting and very, very difficult also, taking everything on my kitty. So it was not an agenda that I had to take or build a next Dabur or something. It was more about experience. And also I had taken a loan as a student. Not as a student, because my dad told me that I'll give you land, but you have to procure your own loan. So I took 25 lakh rupees loan in 2006. So then that also became a challenge. Can I be financially, I had to learn accounting. I had to learn, so many things by myself and repay the loan. And that was an achievement for me, repaying the loan within 6 years with profit, when you are in such a delicate business of food, where, people are operating in so many years, but such a delicate product. It was a very delicate and very balanced product. You have to make fruit. It's not easy to make that. So that was the first agenda, that can I do it as an entrepreneur? When I start realizing, yes, I can do it, and it has been done, idea was, okay, what next? Can there be something bigger? Of course, the capex challenge has always been there in manufacturing. And I love manufacturing, because even if you see the FieldAssist, whom it is all for big manufacturers and small manufacturers. So India is a economy. Manufacturing has always been a great impetus for any developed economy. From there to here, learnings have been immense. That first of all, the business, when you are on your leg, I'll say the very important skill for any entrepreneur is the sales skill. I was a shy guy, being a engineer, making a good quality product at the best rates and complete hygiene plant. People used to come from outside state to look at my manufacturing plant and how are you doing it? Same quality of homogenization or pressurization, just few lakhs rupees of instruments. I said, okay, they used to come to see that. But the main thing which carried over as a lesson was that you have to be having good sales skills. When I say sales skills, it typically sounds very fishy, the sales guy, it's like selu guy, but that's not about it. When you talk about sales, so that it's basically communicating and interacting and problem solving of the people in exchange of money, but you're actually solving somebody's problem and you are bold about it. So that's the key learning. And also one of the important key learning was that how do you get always grounded yourself in the market? Your eyes, your ears, your nose always smell the ground in terms of what is happening on the ground. how aware you are, how connected you are, and are you able to pick the pulse of it or not. Plus, more than that, the failures, there are plenty of failures being done. And I was again saying quite fortunate, and but as Anil sir says, nothing happen, by chance. Everything is meant to happen. So I got a very great combination. I never knew that in IT, if I'm going, my FMCG experience is going to come in handy, but it came.
Yeah.
It came around. There's a fusion of FMCG and technology, a beautiful marriage of it. So that really helped. So a lot of people dealing, sales skills, understanding market behavior, consumers, that all really helped. And failures, a lot of failures, frustrations, and building a small team at that time, so many things. But to be very frank, sir, more than what I learned, I had to unlearn. In this business, when I was here, I had to unlearn, I think, 10 times more than what I had learned. So when you say that carrying over the lessons, there are plenty, but many of things I have to unlearn. It was a one-man show at that time. Here, I understood that it has to be a team game since beginning. And, that does not come easy when you have to exhibit, empathy, and you have to get away from your ego, and you have to really understand. And of course, as a young champ, there could be a certain, I was already having about 7 years of experience, and knew what has worked. But now here I have to unlearn. This is not going to work. Okay. And that capacity, I think, really helped me a lot. That's why the everyday learning and unlearning helped me a lot. That was one of the key things is there for the success of FieldAssist. And still,
so there are many questions which come into our mind, but I think we have a paucity of time, plus the audience should also get a chance. But before I actually hand over to Kevin for fielding the questions, I have one last question from our side. I know that you are deeply spiritually oriented. Now, oftentimes people say that business is all about transaction. You give something and take something. But I think for you, it has always been a different experience altogether. Now, how important do you think is spirituality? And I'm talking of spirituality not in the sense that you have to be religious. Spiritual means knowing yourself. How important do you think is spirituality for the success of an entrepreneur?
So I think that's a famous quote. What some saint has said, that we are not human beings. We are actually all spiritual beings, living human life. Okay. So
Right.
I think so for everybody in this world, whether an entrepreneur or not, spirituality is by default. Somebody is able to click it or get it, this thing at the age of 5, and some people get it at the age of 50 or later. But it's a matter of it's a universal truth for me, because spirituality is like connecting with the people and thinking more about the others, and by being more self-aware, it helps a lot, and it helps you in a lot in terms of your daily decision making as well.
Yeah, I remember in the last year when the pandemic started, you actually gave me a message somewhere that some of the clients, you returned the money that you had taken because the company was going into some financial troubles. So you said, okay, we will not take money. I think you actually went ahead and did this. You are yourself a startup, but still you actually helped other companies to overcome the financial challenges they were facing.
I got a call from an entrepreneur from Bhubaneswar, and he was crying. He said, my truck has been seized by the owner, and I have gone broke, and I don't have any money to working capital to sustain my spices company. And very small entrepreneur. And he said, my wife and myself used to pack the spices early in the morning before my toddler wakes up, because otherwise the spices will can get into his eyes in that same room, so they have to. And he simply made that request, can I get my thousands what he has spent over there, about 50,000 or something. It was just a matter of 1 second. No, we can return. We have not used it anywhere else, and this is parked with us. He has not utilized the cloud. Why not? And he's under stress. Like that, the daily experiences are there, sir, because I think spirituality is nothing but, whether you are religious or not, integrity upholds. You do what is right. And to do what is right, it takes a lot of courage. And the courage comes because when you are spiritually aware, it comes automatically. So that's one of the angle I would say. And
very good.
I'm not an authority. I'm really
very good.
learner.
Very good.
Okay, I don't know much about
this is a practitioner's approach to spirituality. I really like it. And it is spirituality in practice. It is not about spirituality in preaching, it is spirituality in practice.
Thank you.
Good. So now, Kevin, do you have questions already, or we can start
Yes, sir.
having
We
questions?
do have a few
So
couple of
let us start
questions.
with the questions.
Sure, sir. So we have a question from Satya Harish. Param, it's for you. So the question is, to what extent direct to customer D2C will be going to affect your business? Will you extend your business if market convert to D2C by an enterprise applications?
Okay, thank you. Thank you
Satya.
for this question, Satya Harish. See, D2C is absolutely last 3 years. In fact, we had our clients who are into D2C when they started D2C. For example, let me quote Mamaearth. Mamaearth is a big brand now, right? They started D2C and they made it big. Now, D2C, in fact, it can't be just a D2C route in India market. Now, if you see, when last year they collaborated with us, they wanted to get into general trade. And today we have a lot of inquiries from a lot of companies who have been into D2C, but they want to get into general trade. They don't understand general trade and they need technology from day one. So we get into them into as collaboration mode. Okay. I see the D2C brands coming into picture actually is expanding the whole market size, because Mamaearth could not have existed if they had gone with the not with the D2C route. So why D2C? They came up and they are now expanding into a big market of general trade. As I told you initially also, general trade is going to be about 82% in India. It's going to, overall, if you see, the D2C is going to increase in next 5 years, 6 years. A lot of venture funding, it's happening over there. So I don't see it as a threat. I see it as an opportunity, because we are now going to give them, those D2C brand, a bigger access to the market with our product. And with the time, we have been making a lot of products. So omni-channel is going to be one thing which FieldAssist is very serious about. But since the D2C market is still very small, still small, but as compared to the whole market, but we are getting hands on to it, So it's not a threat, it's an opportunity. And a lot of enterprise customers also are thinking, but they're thinking itself will take them a lot of time, because it's not easy to have that D2C model in place. Because with villages just nearby store, even if you today go to Chandigarh, I've been in Chandigarh for the last 1 year, nobody prefers a lot of groceries to be purchased through e-commerce platform. They're just by the side. I'll go, I know the customer, I know the shopkeeper, he will deliver me. So that prevalence, in fact, while I was in Gurgaon for last now 7 years, I didn't realize that anybody will go to the market, because there was no neighborhood market. If you see the Gurgaon also, not so prevalent. You have malls and all. But if you go to a city like Chandigarh, just 200 kilometers away, or Jaipur, you will find a lot of companies only operating out of this. But D2C is very, very interesting space. D2C. Hope that answers to some extent, your question.
Thank you, Param. So we have one more question from Parv Gulati. The question is, as you mentioned, there are many similar companies like yours. So how you're differentiating your services from other competitors, and what strategy you're using to retain clients in the competitive market?
Okay, so yes, see, one thing is always going to be there. See, we are all, I believe that, let's say there are 7 billion plus people, okay, in the world. Every person is unique. There's no other Param, right? There's no other Satya, there's no other A and B sir, there's no other you. Now, every one of you has a unique thing. Now, same way, each company will have something unique. You need to find it out. It is about the self-awareness. If you stick to that, what do you care about in your business? So whether it's about technology, whether it's about the customer service, whether it's about you are able to produce something at lowest cost, but very good quality, you are passionate about engineering, something or the other you need to identify. This will make you stand unique, always. Yes, the degree of that uniqueness identification, when you get into a Me Too kind of a players as well, then you have to introspect more and more. But you will always stand out as unique. It's, it seems like competition, but I feel that why a client is buying FieldAssist and not other competitors, it is definitely one of the unique factors, the USP, but of course it comes as a combination. What I feel is that we care for the customers, even at the cost of losing the business, even at the cost of losing the revenue, that we say that we want to get onto this boat with you. Let's say this is an opportunity which we do not sell, oversell, miss-sell, undercommit. What we say, we want to be a growth partner, even if you are not paying us, but you have a good opportunity to problem solve. Can we partner with you? There's no strings attached, but we'll put our whole team onto this, and if you win, then we will win. So that kind of commitment is very difficult to give when you do not have people, when you are not even able to take salary from the system. And I'm not talking about that today we are where we are. We're a $3 million ARR company. I'm talking from those ethos, coming 7 years back. And also similarly, when somebody says, can you do this for me? Your competitor is able to do this. Why can't you do it? So he also has coders, you also have coders. I said, sir, our paths are not matching. I would rather not sell you and just onboard you, take some setup fee, some few lakhs, and then say, ki baad mein dekh lenge. I said, I am not going to commit on to that. Even at times people used to come, bloody take the money, the CEOs are saying that kaam karna hai, and there are IT heads, there are VPs, and say, Param, take the money and we'll figure it out the way. I said, sorry, I can't commit. Let you go with this competitor. If he has that expertise today, please go with that. I think that attitude of people, it's not about the CEO attitude, it's the attitude of a whole company, whole team, not to misguide. And this is a longer route. This takes a lot of time because your revenues, you are actually saying no to the money on the table many times, but it reverses and comes back, in a way that people will start coming onto you. So today we have no fear of competition. Never ever. At times, you do get, it's not that you're a Superman, you do get fear, this client is losing, what to do. But when you take a pause, when you take a break back, in fact, today what we see, and for the last 4 years also, that if we are losing out to competition, we feel happy because we know that not tomorrow, not day after tomorrow, but then this person is going to be with us because we are already on the right path. It's just a matter of time. We may not have resources, we may not have certain things, but it's a matter of time. And when that happened, we see a lot of our competitors, like I told about MobiC or Bizom, a lot of people churning from there and coming to us after 3 years, after 2 years. Plenty of examples, because that's a whole belief that I believe in you. And of course, you have to be very, very, sensitive and aware of what your competition is bringing. I get inspired by competitors a lot. At many times I have taken decisions which were inspired by the competitors. But you have to maintain that, okay, these are the ethics. We are not going to, go away with them. So it's a big topic, but the very first thing what I say, there's no fear and inspired with a competitor and work for the customer. That's it. And you will be able to figure it out. And what's your unique strength.
Thank you, Param, for those insights. So we have a question from anonymous attendee. He says, hi, Param sir, thank you for sharing such a delightful insights. It really helped us knowing about the entrepreneurship journey more. My question is, how did the idea of FieldAssist came to your mind? I mean, that's his question.
Thank you for asking this question. I'll not say that FieldAssist idea was wholly mine. I just, it was a, toddler or an infant when I came, and now it's a, complete human being and we're growing. But at that time, it was again, the ethos which were shared by my co-founders also, that listen to the market. Actually, when Flip2No Technologies, which is a parent company, it started, in 2010, and we were into digital marketing through QR codes. That was a very unique proposition. We were way ahead of time what Paytm did. 5 years later, we were doing 5 years at that time before. That was the idea, but the timing may not have been that suitable. So one of the customers, in fact, told one of my co-founder that we are struggling with this kind of a problem, which is salespeople, management, and can you do something about it? So we were very close to the market, so we picked it up. We explored that, okay, is this a problem of many others? And then it came out that, okay, this is something a real good issue. And when, I had a first meeting with my co-founder, Divir, then he said, this is what we are solving. And I came from that background. I know, yeah, this is a problem. I have faced that problem myself. So this is very interesting problem to solve. And then we amplified it. So when we started with the FieldAssist, it was basically a Salesforce productivity tool. And now it has come a way, way long. It has become a enterprise suite in itself. We are treating, or helping general trade, modern trade, distribution management system, analytics, whatnot. is there. So the idea which came in our mind was through the customer, the market itself told us. So, and then we amplified it, took it to the next level.
So that was Karanjit Singh who had asked this question.
Okay, thanks, Karan.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether this is a question, but Satya Harish is again asking you. Someone want to buy off, will you sell it?
So, okay,
Too
someone
early to comment.
someone wants to buy a FieldAssist, will you sell it? Okay. Very interesting question. It's not something that we have been facing, straight away today. It's been in the last 5 years, so many things have come up. Or we see.
I'll tell you why this question actually comes up, Paramdeep, because you must have seen nowadays most of the young entrepreneurs and startups, they take the business as a transaction unit.
Yes.
So they start a company with this objective that they will sell it off after maybe 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Once
That's
they have
their calling. That's their calling, sir. That's their way of doing the business.
Right? So what is your view on that?
My view is to create legacy company. My view is to create a legacy company, and selling, to me, it comes on a degree. It could be merger and acquisition. It could be some stakeholders. So that's also selling. If the question was about 100% sell off and go in peace or something of that sort, no, absolutely not. We have just begun. So sorry to disappoint, but you are most.
What is my friend Rashmi Kapse doing here?
So Rashmi works with FieldAssist, sir.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Rashmi, how are you?
Very well.
When did you join Param?
Oh, a couple of months ago. It's been an exciting journey. And
so where are you based?
In Delhi. I'm very much in Delhi. We're all working from home right now.
So are Pradeep and Rachna watching this?
No, they aren't. I haven't informed them, but I will let them know.
Okay, Param, I hope you know that Rashmi's dad and I have been knowing each other for over 40 years.
She told me today itself in the morning.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going for so nice to see her, but her video is not on. Yeah. So very good to see you, Rashmi.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. So I'm sure you have had an exciting dialogue, and I was kind of trying to be a fly on the wall, not put myself on video and get attention to myself. But wonderful, and I'm glad the attendance has gone up as the evening has progressed. Yeah,
I'm all up the game. If there are more questions, I'm available. It's a Friday.
Sure. Any other question people want to ask?
So we don't have any more questions at this moment.
Okay.
Andy, sir?
So no, I think it's fine. We'll have a more detailed session with Param later on when he comes to campus. Once we are open, then maybe we'll have a one-on-one with the students later on. So as of now, I think I would like to thank Param for being an excellent guest for us, and it gives us immense pride. Anil, a few words from your side.
No, all I'm saying is that in Param, I recognize three things. One, his complete spiritual belief and his interest in serving the well-being of all. Two, he genuinely enjoys building good relationships, enjoys working with people. And third, he's completely committed to what he does. When you have these three wonderful qualities, then you are bound to make impact on making the world better. So lots of blessings to Param and all his 130 people. I think, may your group grow, may your team grow, may you do a lot more impact, and maybe continue to say, look at that handsome Sardar, he used to work with us. And, he used to study with us. And, so we can all say, what a wonderful colleague. And so we will celebrate Param's success with each year. And hopefully in better times, he's also facilitated many times on Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Guru Purab. We bring the Guru Granth Sahib to the campus. I hope we are able to do that this year as well. And it'll be very nice to be with him and to also have that langar together. So that would be very nice.
Thank you so much for having me here. I think soil played a beautiful role, a very critical, important stint in my life, because otherwise the realization does not come, until unless you go through an experience. And experiencing with you, with A and B sir, with the Nitika ma'am and the soil fraternity, it is always very special, because the soil values, the pillars of soil, they are very much inspirational, because if you see our culture, code of book or a discovery we did, it's very much relatable to what Soil says about integrity, compassion, diversity. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being part of my life, sir, and Soil and ANV sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Sachirika. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Karan. Kevin.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, everybody,
Thank you,
for
everyone.
a delightful
Thank you, Karan.
evening. Enjoy the
Stay
rest
safe.
of your
Everybody
evening.
stay
Thank
safe.
you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.